Ryan. I just wanted to finish going over this problem. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take Plan B and go from annual to quarterly, because if we can go to quarterly, then we can compare it with Plan A. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do, and perhaps I should have written this as B, we're going to write an equation for it. And so this equation should be pretty familiar. It's basic compound and simple interest. But what we need to do is we need to put it in the form of quarterly. And we know quarterly, just like this equation over here for Plan A, has an exponent of 4t. So we need to substitute something so that we get that exponent of 4t. So what we're going to do is we're looking for something that when multiplied by 4t equals t, all right? Because it needs to be equal to t. And this will make more sense in a second. And so what we know would be multiplied by 4t to equal t is 1 over 4, right? Because 1/4 times 4 equals 1. And so that would give us t equals t, right? And so the substitution is going to look like this. All right, now that we have that substitution done, we know that we can throw this in a calculator, right? And to throw this part, that I'm going to try highlighting here in a calculator, we just need to make sure that we use parentheses, because we want the whole thing, or this to be the whole fraction to be in the exponent. So it has to be in parentheses like this. I'm going to hit enter. We're going to take a look at it. All right, we have an answer. We're going to substitute that in. Give me a sec for that. All right, and there we have our value in there. Now it looks exactly like the same format as before. The only thing we could do to make it look more like that format is maybe to put it without parentheses, right? And we can do that because we have no other numbers, right? There's just a number and its exponent. So we could write it like this, to the 4t. Perfect. Nice and easy to compare. Now we notice that the growth rate is going to be 1 minus that. And so the growth rate in this case would be 0.0068, right? Oh, sorry. That's not for Plan A. This is for Plan B's quarterly interest because it's to 4t. And now if we compare these two, Plan B has a slightly higher quarterly interest, right? Plan B's quarterly interest is higher. And if it's higher, that makes Plan B the better plan. We can also do this in the reverse direction. Let's say we want to make Plan A go from quarterly to annual. We're going to do the same thing. But in this case, for our substitution, instead of canceling things out, we want to add in that 4, right? And so 4 times t is obviously going to get us 4t, right? 4t equals 4t, which is perfect. That's equal, right? We can't substitute things unless they're equal. And so that will look a little bit like this. And the reason we can put this in is power to a power rule says that this 4 and that t would be multiplied because there's 2 powers and there's power on top of a power. And that's why this substitution works. Now from here, all we're going to do is we're going to finish up the problem, right? And so that means we're going to put the highlighted part in our calculators. It's just numbers, so it can go in the calculator. And there we are. We have it all sorted out. And now this equation looks just like our original equation for B, which means we can compare it. So that growth rate, if we were going to write it, is 0.00652, right? Now if we, yeah, there we go. And that's our annual interest for Plan A. Now, if we look at that, that's significantly lower than Plan B. So again, Plan B is going to win in this case. So in this case, I'm going to make this red just to demonstrate that that's the losing one, if you will, right? Plan A's annual interest is lower than Plan B's annual interest. That makes Plan B the better plan, right? And that's the same thing here. We could be a little bit clearer, higher than Plan A's quarterly interest. Remember, we can only compare things that are similar. So in this case, quarterly and quarterly or annual and annual. And there you have it. This example is also in OneNote for you to look at if you need to later. All right. I hope that was helpful.